Hello and welcome to Vancouver Pacific Central Station. Today we're heading south to Seattle with Amtrak. This won't be just any Amtrak journey. It's one of only 3 international services operated by Amtrak, carrying us across the US-Canada border on a scenic journey past ocean bays, border towns, and rugged coastline. I hope you're ready for an incredible journey, and let's get started. Our journey begins at Vancouver's Pacific Central Station. Built in 1917, Pacific Central is the main station in Vancouver, serving Amtrak Cascades to Seattle and beyond, and Via Rail's the Canadian to Toronto. We've actually just arrived here after an incredible but eventful journey on board the Canadian, traversing Canada across 4 days. If you want to check that video out, links will be in the top right or in the description below. Pacific Central is a beautiful terminus station, the Beaux-Arts facade welcoming passengers into the station hall. While Pacific Central is displayed atop the station today, the sign originally said Canadian National after the railway which built the terminus. When the station was renamed in 1993, the signs were swapped for Pacific Central, with the original signs moving to a railway museum and then to storage at the West Coast Railway Association. Heading inside the station entrance, we find ourselves in the main passenger waiting area. The waiting hall is a beautiful space with a bit of seating and shops at either end. Unfortunately, it's too early for any of those shops to be open, so there's really not much to see. Now, our train to Seattle is an international service, which means we need to pass through customs and immigration. Customs is a bit different going to and from Vancouver than it was the last time we traveled to Canada on the Maple Leaf. Because Vancouver is the only stop in Canada, all passengers go through customs on arrival to or departure from Vancouver. After a quick trip through the immigration checkpoint, we can head out to the platform to meet our train. Our train today is formed of an SC-44 Charger, 4 Horizon coaches, a Horizon Cafe car, and a non-powered F-40 PH cab control car. You'll notice as we walk down the train that we're entirely fenced in. That's because this platform is designated for US-bound passengers only. Even though we're still in Canada, this area operates under US border pre-clearance. To maintain border security, the platform is fenced off, preventing anyone from entering Canada without proper customs clearance and ensuring that all passengers are processed by US immigration before departure. Beyond the fence are the remaining platforms of Pacific Central, which hold the cars for Via's the Canadian. The silvery stainless steel rail cars glisten under the platform lights, the next train ready for departure in a few hours' time. Climbing aboard the rearmost coach, we can find a seat and get settled in for the ride to Seattle. When departing Vancouver, you'll want a seat on the right-hand side of the train. This is where all of the best views will be throughout the journey, as we'll see very soon. As we head out of Vancouver, let's take a quick look at our route down to Seattle. Our journey begins heading east out of Vancouver and across the Fraser River to Boundary Bay. We make a brief stop at the US-Canada border for customs and immigration before continuing south. We head inland through Burlington and Mount Vernon, the Cascade Range and coastal waters lining the tracks. It's back to coastal running past Everett, the Olympic Range keeping watch over our train, and Puget Sound. The suburban landscape surrounds us as we near Seattle, the tracks breaking away from the coast to head towards the city center, pulling to a stop at Seattle King Street Station at the end of our journey. We'll cover a total of 157 miles on our ride today, with a travel time of 4 hours and 25 minutes. As we leave Vancouver behind, the sun begins to rise over the west coast, a fiery orange glow emerging from beyond the horizon. The rising sun glints off the towers of Metrotown, the district one of 4 town centers for the city of Burnaby. Our train today is operated by a set of Horizon coaches, manufactured by Bombardier in the late 80s and early 90s. Each car is laid out in Amtrak's standard 2x2 coach configuration, with the car split between forward and rearward facing seats. Coach class seats offer around 4 inches of legroom with a bit of additional space beneath the next row to stretch out or store personal belongings. The seat back pocket is in good condition and holds the safety information card for our coach. The tray table folds down from the seat back and is large enough to get some work done while on the move. Above each row are 2 lights controlled by the buttons in between. At-seat power is provided through the 2 outlets located below the window. Seat adjustments are made using the button inside the armrest, which allows the seat back to recline around 20 degrees. The physical seats are very comfortable and perfect for our 4-hour ride to Seattle. They're super thick with tons of support on both the back and bottom. Plus their sleek vinyl upholstery gives the car a modern look, though I do wish there was a bit more color. For those carry-on bags that don't fit beneath the seats, luggage racks can be found above either side of the train. A traditional luggage rack is also located at the end of each coach for passengers not wanting to lift suitcases into the racks above. Passengers with disabilities traveling on Amtrak will find dedicated accessible seating at the ends of each car, with plenty of space for wheelchairs and mobility aid devices. Our train soon pulls up alongside the Fraser River before crossing it via the new Westminster Rail Bridge. The sharp curve onto the bridge provides an excellent view of our train ahead as it enters the truss. Flanking both sides of our train are 2 bridges, one old and one new. On the right side is the Patullo Bridge, and on the left is its replacement, a massive cable-stayed bridge set to open in late 2025. A 4th span reveals itself as we turn south onto the eastern bank of the Fraser River, Vancouver's Sky Bridge, which carries Skylink trains on the Expo line across the river. Outside the window, it's all views of the Fraser River and soon of Boundary Bay. And this is why I said to get a seat on the right-hand side of the train. These are just a few of the many amazing scenes of sea and sky we'll see heading south. While Wi-Fi is an amenity on many Amtrak trains, the actual usability varies significantly from train to train. On this occasion, I can connect to the network easily, but the connection is virtually non-existent. Across the bay, we spot our first piece of American soil, Point Roberts. While connected to Canada by land, the end of the peninsula falls below the 49th parallel, and thus is within American borders. As the haze dissipates, the islands beyond the Strait of Georgia fade into view. Silhouettes of mountain peaks rise and fall along the horizon as we approach the American border. Arriving at the US-Canada border, our train pulls to a halt. While passengers do not have to detrain here, customs agents board the train to check passports and other necessary documentation before we are allowed to continue. It's a simple and straightforward process and takes only a few minutes. As we get underway once more, it's time to head up the train to the cafe car. The cafe car is split between cafe and business class seating, the latter operated in a 2x1 with large leather armchairs for extra comfort. The cafe menu includes a variety of breakfast, lunch, and dinner options, plus drinks and snacks, all for a relatively reasonable price. For breakfast today, I went with a breakfast burrito and a cup of coffee. The burrito is a relatively new option, either that or it's a Cascades exclusive. Either way, I hadn't seen it before. The burrito comes filled with scrambled eggs, red peppers, potatoes, and shredded cheese, all inside a flour tortilla. Taking a bite, it's pretty good for a breakfast burrito. Sure, it's not going to win any awards, but for a train breakfast, it's very filling. I will say the picante sauce does wonders to improve the burrito, adding some much needed spice and smoke to the meal. For $6, I'd say it's worth it. While in the cafe car, something caught my eye. A poster up above the table showing off Amtrak's new Aero train sets. The Aero train sets are the future of Amtrak's intercity and state-supported services. Manufactured by Siemens, each set will consist of a charger locomotive with Venture coaches in tow. These sets will replace the aging fleet of Amfleet and Horizon coaches across the network. The new train sets tout panoramic windows, comfortable seating, improved passenger amenities, and connectivity, all coming together for a more enjoyable onboard experience. The cafe car is also getting a much-needed overhaul with a new sleek look. Earlier this week, it was announced that the first Cascades Aero set was completed and sent out for testing. I gotta say, the first pictures of a completed set look incredible. The modern livery and updated interior make these trains look like a true step forward for Amtrak, and I can't wait to get on board when they enter service sometime in 2026. Bathrooms on Horizon trains are located towards one end of each car. There are 2 in each car with 1 regular and 1 accessible. The accessible facility includes plenty of space for passengers with disabilities, with a standard suite of toilet, sink, and hand dryer. The sink works well, though using it is a little weird and quite messy, though there's a full bottle of soap and 2 120-volt outlets. The standard facility is much the same, older but functional, with the same suite of amenities. While neither are perfect, they both get the job done. Returning to our seat, Bellingham Bay extends out from our window to the horizon, the white peaks of the Olympic Mountains peeking out above the islands in the foreground. We head inland toward our stop in Mount Vernon. The ocean is quickly replaced by a patchwork of green, an expanse of farmland stretching as far as the eye can see. The green scene is suddenly broken by a pop of pink. Cherry blossom season has just begun, and a tree here in Mount Vernon is beginning to bloom. While most of the views are on the right side of the train, the left still gets a pretty sweet view of the Cascade Range. And of course, the right side gets some mountain views too. The Olympic Range grows ever larger as we approach Seattle, the snow-covered peaks extending well into the sky. It is an absolutely beautiful day to be traveling by train. It's all shades of blue, the distant mountains only Now, we may be traveling on Amtrak's Horizon coaches, but not 2 weeks after this was filmed, all Horizon cars were pulled from service. While performing routine inspections, Amtrak discovered corrosion on several Horizon cars. To ensure passenger safety, all cars were pulled from service while further inspections were carried out. This saw trains across the country canceled and passengers stranded. The removal from service hit Amtrak Cascades particularly hard, as it left them with only 1 train, the last remaining Talgo set. Buses replaced trains for 2 weeks while Amtrak worked on finding more rail cars to use for Horizon services across the network. Eventually, Amfleets were sourced from yards and services across the country and shipped out to the Pacific Northwest for use on Cascades trains. Trains were only suspended for 2 weeks, but with a very limited number of Amfleets coming their way, trains are running at significantly reduced capacity. It's better than nothing, but the Aero train sets can't come soon enough. The coastal views fade into suburban and then urban as we approach Seattle. Emerging from the tunnels beneath the city, we pull into Seattle's King Street Station, the end of the line for our journey today. A quick look at our train and we're off into Seattle's stunning King Street Station. The ornate white station is easily one of the most beautiful small stations on the entire Amtrak network. With our journey now at an end, it's time to bring today's video to a close. I hope you enjoyed our ride on one of Amtrak's 3 international trains and got to experience some of the amazing scenery along the way. Next week, we'll be in Japan for a ride on the Saphir Odoriko, one of Japan's newest and greatest limited express luxury trains. Anyways, if you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my loyal patrons and members. Y'all are amazing and your incredible generosity is always greatly appreciated. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.